Yo, what's good, people? Agent Juice reporting for duty. Iroh, yeah, that guy, cool dude. Everybody loves him. New live-action Avatar is out, so of course Avatar is in the lexicon again. People ask a lot of questions about Iroh, and I figure I would ask these questions as well, because, you know, it's been a while since I've done one of these here, fast draws, speed paints, what have you. So, I figured I'd make an excuse to start yakking. One of the questions that's always interesting about Iroh is, what if he were Fire Lord? Well, honestly, thinking about it, he wouldn't be the same. If you think about what makes the dude tick, you gotta kind of go to the roots of what makes Iroh Iroh, and the unfortunate truth is that Liu Ten, his son, died in action. And because of that, Iroh became the Iroh we know and love today. By the way, for this video, I'm only going to be talking about the animated Avatar The Last Airbender, okay? I ain't going to talk about no korra, I ain't going to talk about no comic, no live action, this and that, and whatever. So, you know, if any of you fools say something about, oh, well, you know, what about this thing, and I don't want to hear none of that, all right? If you say that I'm gonna make a grumpy face, and you don't want me to use my grumpy face. All right. So what do we know about good old Iroh? You know, he was once a general. Well, he was once the crown prince. Yeah, he was once the crown prince and a general who sieged Ba Sing Se, and unfortunately, his son died in the siege, and so he relinquished his crown prince status. And that was the kind of big change of Iroh, you know. Trauma changes people, and there is no greater trauma than losing a child. So the big what if of what if Iroh were Fire Lord, you think about it, is he wouldn't be the same Iroh. Now, I mean, obviously he'd be nicer than Ozai. I mean, I'm willing to bet money on that. But I mean, just think of the ripple effect that would have. First of all, Zuko, good old boy Zuko, the best character in all of Avatar as far as I'm concerned, he would ultimately, I believe, be worse off because he's now stuck with Ozai. Now, probably he wouldn't be burnt in the face because, you know, not being the crown prince of Fire Lord Ozai, since Fire Lord Ozai is no longer the Fire Lord, he wouldn't, you know, have been allowed to get into that one meeting where, you know, he said, well, don't hurt the people, you know, don't throw them away like a cannon fodder. You know, and thus he wouldn't have dissed Ozai, and thus wouldn't have had to have an Agni Kai and get his face torched. Azula, well, Azula would probably still be, you know, loony in the head, and probably want to, you know, overthrow the throne and do all that crazy nonsense, but, you know, Azula's gonna Azula, so what you gonna do? But what about good old Aang? What about our boy Aang? So the interesting question I have is, would Iroh even care about searching for the Avatar? You know, if you think about it, the Avatar has always been in the thorn of the side of the Fire Lord family. You know, good old Sozin, you know, spending his last dying years searching for the Avatar, but of course he also did the pillage of the air nomads, and then of course, you know, they started doing the pillage of the waterbenders. So something tells me they probably would have said, you know what, we probably nailed the air avatar and the water avatar, so now all we got to do is sit on our duff and, you know, wait for the fire avatar and successfully indoctrinate them into the Fire Nation way so we can use them as a super weapon. And you know what, that actually reminds me of an old fan fiction that I remember reading the synopsis of. I never actually read the fan fiction itself, but I do remember a synopsis of a fan fiction on like fanfiction.net back in the day of what if Zuko were the Avatar. I think the premise was really fascinating, and truth be told, one of these days, I might do my own take on that fan fiction, much in the same way I did my little Avatar Marie shtick. If you guys want to see that video, I'm going to link it here and all that stuff. If you do want to hear my take on what if Zuko were Avatar, go ahead and comment below with, comment the phrase, give me that sweet Zuzu Juju. Yeah, if you want to see that, I'll know that you want to see it because you used the code phrase. You cringy little weirdo. Anyway, this was a nice little rambling video as you are watching good old Iroh doing the Leonardo DiCaprio toast from Great Gatsby. And enjoy yourself, you freaks. Here's some more cartoons, and let me know if you want to see a fan fiction.